Hey guys, welcome back. This is the first video in the LlamaIndex series. Let's say a series because I will be creating more videos as I explore this LlamaIndex. If you are new to this channel, I have already created almost 31 videos in LangChain. Please refer to this series or playlist if you want to know what is LangChain and what it is capable of doing. What I decided to do is explore LlamaIndex, and when I explore myself, we'll create the videos. How the video will progress here is first I will show you what is LlamaIndex and the website walkthrough where you can find different informations, and show you how you can have a simple chat with documents, and in this case it will be a PDF file using LlamaIndex. Let's get started. Okay, so this is the LlamaIndex website. It says here, okay, unleash the power of LLMs over your data. Everything revolves around data, right? Here is LlamaIndex is a simple, flexible data framework for connecting custom data sources to large language models. So let's say that you have data that which are siloed, right? Some of the things can be just in PDFs. Some of the things might be in some data warehouses, right? The structured data and so on. And as it is shown here also, there are many data, right? But by the way, if you scroll a little bit down here, you can connect your own structured or semi-structured data sources. For example, in the unstructured, you can see that there is a PowerPoint, PDF, YouTube videos, and Word documents. And let's say in the structured, you have SQL, Excel, and stops. And in the semi-structured, there is Salesforce, there is Slack data, there is Notion, and all the different things. How to connect these into the large language models so that you can have a conversation with your documents, let's say, or you can get the insights out of your documents. Let's explore what it is, right? Because I'm new to this, I haven't explored that much. I will be exploring myself and then creating videos along. Now, if you want to know more, if you go to the documentation, so here is all the things that I will be exploring in the video. Let's see how many videos I will create, but there are many things to cover, and let's not jump directly into all the different things. But as you can see here on the left side, you get the idea where to explore what kind of things. Here is getting started and into in tutorials. If you want to do it by yourself, please refer to this part. And there is index data modules, because LlamaIndex works little bit different than how LangChain works. That's what I have learned so far. And there are data connectors, there is node parser, storage indexes, engines, and so on. So it was quite fascinating for me to go until now. So I hope you will be also finding it useful. As I said, there is query modules and there is query engines, chat engines, routers, retriever, and so on. So it is going to be interesting, at least for me. And yeah, this is the main documentation part. If and the one thing that what I highly recommend you to go is the blog post which is provided by LlamaIndex, because they create a really concise as well as clear informations from this official blog post. As you can see here, evaluating the ideal chunk size for RAG system using LlamaIndex, because RAG has been talk of the town, let's say, like that, because everything is revolving between this and fine tuning these days. So you need to know more about these things. And yeah, you can explore the blog post. And as I said before, also, if you want to know more things about the RAG, I find a really good documentation or video from IBM, which says what is retrieval augmented generations. And then there is also this good video explaining about RAGs. You can find many videos, but this kind of explains what is RAG if you are completely beginner. So yeah, apart from that, there is this in the products, there is this Llama Hub also. I highly recommend you to go here and see there, because there are different plugins where you can use those custom data sources with the help of the plugins. Like, let's say that you have some data in the Notion, as we said before. If you search in the Llama Hub, there is Notion, there is a Notion loader and Notion tool. So let's go with the Notion loader. As it says, this loader loads document from the Notion. That's what the loader does. And there is going to be a playground also in the future. And yeah, this is just a few lines of code with which you can load your documents. And then after this, you can use LlamaIndex or LangChain. You can integrate into both of these. in order to create the powerful applications. That's how it works. And if you want to upload your own data loader, you can go to this add a tool or loader. If you click this, it will take you to the GitHub page. You can go through this page. There are also instructions down here how to add a loader or a tool if you want to create your own loader. Okay, that's enough of the talks, I think, because that's the main things what you need to go. So yeah, you can go through this. But now, as I said, you instead of going to the practical things, it does not make sense, right? The first video, let's use the chat with documents. This is the most highly demanded kind of things. Okay, I want to chat with my PDF, I want to chat with my SQL and all the different things. By the way, I will provide this collab notebook in the description of the video, and it will be in my GitHub repository. You can just use that from there. But first thing first, when you are on this Google Colab, if you are completely new, you can go to this runtime, and in the change runtime type, you can change if you are using CPU or T4 GPU. I'm going to use the T4 GPU because I'm also going to show you one simple example how you can use the models from Hugging Face in the Google Colab using LlamaIndex. I'm going to use T4 GPU. I will say save. Once that is done, as you can see here, it shows here T4 and connected to Python 3 GPU, and there is 12 GB of RAM and 78 GB of storage. So yeah, this is the first things. LlamaIndex website, I already went through this. Now we need to install libraries and environment setup. What are the libraries we need? It's just the LlamaIndex and the OpenAI. By the way, I just typed or clicked, whatever you want to call it, Shift Enter to run this. There are many ways how you can run this if you are new to Google Colab, but you can just go in front of this and also run like this. It will run the shell. And if you want to run another way also, there is control enter. It will run that cell, but if you notice, the cursor remains on that particular cell. There are three ways how you can run a particular cell. And now we need to provide the OpenAI API key. So how to get the OpenAI API key? There is the link here. If you click command enter, you can go to the website. So here is the API keys. You can create a new one. First, you need to have an account in OpenAI. I hope you have. And we will create a secret key. I will just give this LlamaIndex. It's optional, but it's good that if you have many, which one you are using in which places. I'm showing you this because I'm going to revoke once I create the video. So you don't need to mention in the comment section. Okay, please remove the OpenAI API key. It's being exposed. Okay, so I just provided this one here. Okay, now OpenAI API key is being provided and we are now good to use the OpenAI models. So now the implementation part, let's go here. So first thing first, import necessary packages. So there is nothing more here, just we are importing OpenAI from LLMIndex LLMs, and there is this vector store index and simple directory reader. And then we have this markdown and display from IPython just to display properly or in a good way the output that we get from the LLMs, right? And by the way, one good thing here, I will run this, and if you want to know more about what is a vector store or what is a simple directory reader and something like that in notebook, it's quite easy because if you just type the class and two question marks, it will open you the code, so you can go through this. Okay, what is happening behind the scene kind of things. This is the good part of using notebooks. Okay, now I have written a simple code here. What it is doing is just using this PDF URL. I have provided a folder called data, and the data will be downloaded. It will be renamed to this name, and the directory will be created if that is not already, and then we just download that and store it. So if you go to this files section here, there is nothing here, but when I run this, there will be a data folder being created, and inside the data folder there will be a PDF file. We renamed it to attention is all you need paper. If I refresh this, as you can see, there is a data folder, and inside the data folder there is attention is all you need, and that is the PDF file we are going to use in order to create the chat with documents. This is done. As it also mentioned here, PDF file successfully downloaded, and the PDF renamed to the attention is all you need paper. So what next? We need to use the Llama index, but I am installing PyPDF because we are working with the PDF file. Okay, just to show you the higher level picture, here on the top you see that there are load documents and create index. So this is the first part we will be going through. So as you can see here, there is the PDF. We extract the pages, split into the chunks. There are different chunks and that needs to be passed into the embedding API, and embeddings are done, and the embeddings as well as the chunks are then stored into the, or let's say that semantic index is being built and stored somewhere, and that is what we call the index, and that will be our knowledge base. And it can be Pinecone, Fias, or ChromaDB. But in the case of LlamaIndex, we are using their inbuilt for this video. In the next video, I will show you how to do this with Pinecone. And then there is the concept of query engine in LlamaIndex. What happens in the query engine is we ask the question. So the question is being embedded with the embedding API, and then that is gone through the semantic search, and it takes the embeddings of the question, compare it to one present in the knowledge base, right? And then it depends how many similar documents you want from this knowledge base. It ranks the result, and then it is passed into the LLMs, and we get the answer. There are many concepts how we can get this particular result from knowledge base in LlamaIndex. Probably in the upcoming videos, we'll discuss more into how LlamaIndex extracts the information out of it. But for now, this is the high level picture of how we can create the custom chatbots for documents in LlamaIndex. For the first part is load documents and build index, right? This is the simple line of code. You pass the document variable, simple directory reader, meaning that it reads from that directory, and we are passing the data because this is the data folder I created, and just run this. If I run this, it will throw the error saying that, okay, I need to install PyPDF. That's the reason I need to install it. Just showing you that, okay, why that is needed. If you are completely beginner, sometimes it doesn't make sense just going through the code, okay, why it is needed and not, right? Now, if I run this, it will not throw me the error, and documents is being created. Now, if I go to the length of documents, there are 15 documents. And now if I go to the first document, it shows, okay, this is the document that is being created. So as you can see, there are different documents now. There is document 1, document 2, document 15. So it splits that PDF into 15 different documents. And as you can see here, there is this document ID. Here is the document ID. There is the metadata, sh page level 1, and the file name also it is providing. Your attention is all you need, because these are the things that will be used behind the scene in order to retrieve the information out of it. So if you want to know more about the vector store index, I have provided a link here. Please go through this and make yourself comfortable. Okay, there are many things here. Now let's go back to our part. Here it says build the vector store. Here is the document splitting, embedding, storing embeddings plus chunking happening. So I just said vector store index dot from documents, and then document. I take that document, and then now I create the index out of it. Meaning that if you have heard about Pinecone, ChromaDB files, which I used to explain in the LangChain videos, I will show you in the next video about Pinecone, how to use Pinecone using LlamaIndex. But that is what it is doing here also. It is creating a vector store. LlamaIndex has its own vector store index. So that is doing in memory behind the scene. Let's say that way. Now we have a vector store being created. This is the index, where is the vector store? Now we can query out of it. How to do the query? As I said you before, there is a query engine there. The query engine takes the data or takes the question, it creates the embedding, it passes that into the vector store or vector store index or index in this case, and then find the relevant chunks out of it, and then pass into the LLMs and get the answer for us. There are many things happening, right? I can just say query engine. So now as you can see, index.h query engine, that's just one line of code I provided. Now I can ask the question out of it. I can say what is the paper about, and if I run this, it will, the answer is now stored in the response variable. If I run the response, as you can see, it's difficult to read. That's the reason I have imported this markdown and display. So if I just run this, then it will provide the answer. Okay, the paper is about attention in neural networks, is specifically in the context of natural language processing. Makes sense, right? That is how we did the chat with documents kind of things out of LlamaIndex. Now the next thing is that was happening in memory. But how to do that, or how to store the things? For that, we can say index.storage context.persist. So when I run this shell, notice that there will be a storage folder being created here. So if I run this, the storage folder will be created and there will be 4 different JSON files. So if I refresh this, there is the storage folder being created. Inside there are 4 different JSON files. There is vector store, there is index store, graph store, doc store, right? In the vector stores or JSON, we have the embeddings. Just to show you, if you double click this one, it will open here. Okay, vector store. As you can see, there is the embedding dict. In the doc store, there are the chunks of the PDF files that we created. In the index store, we have the hash of the chunks. So in the indexed store JSON, it has the hash of our information, meaning that when we do the retrieval things, the embeddings and the chunks are being interconnected. We need to know that which chunk corresponds to which embeddings, right? That is where the index store is holding all the information. This is how it is being stored behind the scene, and it is used when we query the data. So that is all being stored here. And now how to use this information, because before we just use the in-memory information. So here we just need to import the storage context and the load index from storage, and here we just pass that persist directory is dot storage, and if I run this, we'll create a new index. And once the index is being created, you can just follow this part here, how to query the things. That's how it works. Now that is how we store the data, but as I said you before also, how to customize things. Let me close this one so it's easier. We need to customize the information, right? So from LlamaIndex, import service context. This is the main thing that you need to be looking into. So I import OpenAI, of course, it is already imported, but let's import. And the good part here is, as I said you before also, you can even use the LangChain. So alternatively, from LangChain LLMs, you can import different models. We need to define the LLM. So LLM equals to OpenAI, and these are the things I hope you know. We provide the temperature and model names and maximum number of tokens. The maximum number of tokens, you can provide whatever you want here, and the model which you want to use here, I'm just using the default one. And then this is the service context that I'm saying you. Once you create the LLM, we need to provide that into the service context. So service context dot from defaults, and we provide LLM what we just created, chunk size. So you can provide the chunk size whatever you want, and then the chunk overlap. Do we need to provide the chunk overlap or not? But it's completely up to you, and you need to test yourself for your documents to know that okay, if it works for you or not. And then we can just say we can create the index now. So vector store index dot from documents, and this is the document that we have created before, and we just provide this service context, and that's it. It is being created, and it says here, okay, service context is not defined. I didn't run this particular line of cell, and this one, now it should work. So we have the index now being created, and with that index we can ask the question, what is the paper about? The same question I asked before. And by the way, one thing here, if you see, it is streaming, meaning that it will print the answer as it goes. That's the reason I provided here streaming equals to true. Just to show you again, just show here, before it just provided the answer by itself, but here it will go in the streaming phase, as you can see here. Okay, the paper, something like that. That's sometimes is useful, because when you create an application out of it, if you have long answer, instead of just waiting there to finish the answer, if there is a streaming, it's good for your eyes. Okay, so that's all about that. And by the way, there is also this using LLM from Hugging Face. And for this, you need to have a good GPU, just to say you upfront, so that you know that it will work in your case. Because this is the code here. I'm not going to go through the code because it will not work eventually. I will show you why. In this case, because in the free version of Colab, the RAM is not sufficient. So this is how you can provide the information. And this system prompt is specific to particular models. So here I'm using this stability AI, stable LM tuned alpaca 3B, and this is the system prompt that you need to provide. By the way, I just copied this from this particular link, so I don't need to explain so much of things here. And then you need to install transformers. By the way, just to show you, because if I run this, it will throw me the error because I need to have the transformer because I'm using the Hugging Face hub models. So just to show you how things work, I'm just providing all the informations as I go. As it says here also, you need to have transformers, and this is how you can install. Why I'm showing you this is because when you are doing or practicing something, always try first and try to read the error message carefully, because error message will show you all the things why it is showing and what you need to do. Because here in the beginning it says that okay, there is no module called transformers, and if we scroll a little bit down, it says how you can do that also. If I now install this, it will be installed there. And now if I run this, it will not throw any error. I'm not going to wait until this is running, as I said you before, because as you can see, this is the error that I got before. Your session crashed after using all available RAM. If you are interested in access to high RAM, you need to check out the Colab Pro. Or if you have a GPU locally, you can use also here. And once you create the LLMs, so this is creating the LLM. We used OpenAI before, and now we are using the Hugging Face LLMs. You can just create a service context out of it, and then just create an index as we did before, and then use the query engine to query the information out of it. So that is how it works. Okay, that's all for this video. The video went little bit longer, but I hope now you get the idea what is LlamaIndex and how you can chat with your documents, in this case PDF, using LlamaIndex. Because as I was explaining also there, that there is different concept being used in LlamaIndex. And the next video, what I'm going to create is how to use Pinecone instead of the vector store provided by LlamaIndex itself. Because that's the main question that I am being asked many times. Can you use Pinecone? Why not Pinecone kind of thing? So yeah, next video, Pinecone with LlamaIndex. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.